Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rinse at a time. It is Thursday. That means the three amigos. How you guys doing? How you doing, Matt?
Awesome. Doing great. Ready for what we're going to cover in this next one. I won't take Dion's tagline.
And Dion, how are you?
Howdy, I'm doing great. Ready for round two. And I think this is going to be interesting because it's going to be hard to come up with ones that the other person doesn't say first.
Absolutely. So, folks, what we're going to do, we are inspired by Meet Kevin and his awesome content. We are now going to do a video called Stop Making These 4. We're actually going to do 6 because we're 2 times better. Dumb real estate mistakes. Now we're actually going to go to Dion first, let him have first swing. Dion, what's the first mistake people should stop doing today?
2 times better would be 8, by the way, just FYI.
I was going to point that out too. Our first dumb mistake. I love
it. That's why Mike uses spreadsheets.
Yeah, exactly.
The one that I hear the most that frustrates me and is why I tend to jump into text chains or comment chains is waiting for the crash or the correction. Especially when if interest rates go up, that's going to cause a crash or correction, which we know isn't always the case. If the rates go up and magically it did cause a crash or correction and prices come down, you're still paying the same or more. You're just giving more money to the lender than to the seller.
Yeah.
And now you're like everybody who's been saying, wait for the crash or correction since 2013, when prices started going above where they were in 2008. They're missing out on a decade. We're coming up on a decade of cash flow appreciation, which we've seen a lot of, principal pay down, and all of the tax benefits. That's my first mistake I would hope people would stop making.
Awesome. Love that one. Matt, you get number 2.
We'll call this the Little Lumberjack. So we'll say, don't do skinny deals like my inflation adjusted lumberjack. People are doing some skinny deals. I mean, and it's just because they've done the work, they've looked at the market, but they're just like, I don't really see anything changing. I've been doing this for 6 months. I've been doing this for 9 months. And now's the time. Now's the time, because now rates are going to pop that much more. And so we got to get in now. And it's this, fake urgency and fake FOMO. Don't do whatever you do. Stay the course, stay consistent, only do a good or great deal. Do not put yourself in a position where you're doing a deal just to get a deal, because you're going to end up like Mike's work buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to do, my first one's going to be stolen from video 1. It's something I'm very passionate about. It's the only picture in my first book. Is you should never buy, or as I did, create an alligator. Right? An alligator, to steal Matt's line from video 1, is like being punched in the face. It really did feel that way, right? Kicked in the nuts, whatever you want to call it. Every time I had to write that mortgage payment, to me, I don't like feeling like an idiot. It's like I make mistakes all the time, but sometimes I just feel like an idiot. Like I should have known better. When you're writing a mortgage payment that's $1,250 on a rental that's $1,100, you're losing money every month. The best case. Don't ever do an alligator. I don't care if you make $1 million a month on YouTube and you need to tell people you're buying, go ahead, buy all the alligators you want. But that's not most people. Don't buy. And again, hopefully that makes sense, but don't create an alligator. That was a sneaky suspicion that I don't know that a lot of people are looking at. A lot of you might be looking at cash out refis today. Really run the numbers, right? Take a little less. I made the mistake of going, how much do you want? How much can I have? Here you go. I'll take it. Do the math. Don't make that mistake that I did. So don't buy, don't create alligators is number 1 for me. All right, Dion, number 2.
All right, my second one, creating an alligator is something that really matters to you, Mike. So much so that in video 1 today, you dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah.
This mistake gets to me so much. I'm going to work really hard that if I drop an F-bomb, I pronounce it correctly.
Okay.
You do not need a LLC to start investing in real estate. Unless you have partners or want hard money, or sometimes you need commercial lending, they might require an LLC. But to buy a rental property, there are no tax benefits. There is not the asset protection that everybody thinks there's going to be. Later in your investing, when you have multiple assets to worry about and cash flow, to be able to, in my opinion, throw away a couple $100 a year on each LLC, pay extra to have each one filed with your tax professional, go for it. But the mistake that I hear is the advice that so many people give that brand new investor who doesn't even have a rental yet, that hasn't started saving, working on their credit score, or even talked to a lender. So the first baby steps aren't even started. They're stopped in their tracks because they see advice from other investors or other people who haven't invested at all saying you need an LLC. There are
First.
times it makes sense.
Yeah. That's there's in my opinion, there's an entire cottage industry that is out there selling fear and complexity to people that have nothing. Let me tell you this, if you own nothing and are worth nothing, you don't need another entity. There's nothing there to get. There's a whole cottage industry spinning interesting tales there. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, Matt, number 2.
If I could draw a cartoon, I would draw this as a cartoon.
Okay.
House on the market. 10 people standing in the front yard. 9 of them are investors. 1 of them is a noob investor.
Okay.
The noob investor stands forward when he finds out that the real estate agents announced it and he's won the deal. He looks at the other 9 investors, points at them and laughs and said, "Hi, beat you all." Nah, you didn't.
Congratulations.
You overpaid.
Yeah.
You overpaid. So, when you're coming into a deal, if it's on market and you overpay, shame on you. But if it's on market and it's been there for 3 or 4 weeks in this market, like some stuff that, you guys have seen stuff that gets price reduced. I had one foreclosure that I bought that was price reduced 6 times. Right.
Yeah.
And it got to a range where it got to like 160. And then I was like, okay, I bet I can bend the bank at 1 1/4 with cash.
There you go.
So I did. I bent the bank at 1 1/4, bought it cash. I put 40 into it, on 165 into it. It just reappraised for 335. Now, that noob who's going to do the Burr method, because they watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
I am going to crush you.
Yeah.
You will not make money on that Burr. You will not. You will be lucky to get out of there alive. So be very, very careful when you're buying something that's been on market for some time. All of us investors have passed, and we have more means. We have more contacts. We have more know-how. There's a reason we passed. You didn't get one over. So I only say that to say, if you get one over on me, great, congratulations, good for you. But I bet you that was a dice roll. It wasn't a guarantee.
Yeah. If you get over me because of speed, like I wasn't on it that day or something, good for you.
Yep.
It ain't going to be price. Right.
Well, yeah, it's not, and it's not going to be like overall proposal wise, right? Because it's like, oh, well, I said, I watch TV and they said it's $199 a window and then buy 2, get 1 free. And you think that that's the price for every window. And then you go and you get a window quote and you're like, no, they're $199. Oh, no, that's for the standard window that we literally print like 1,000 of a week. Your windows are different. They're 2 inches wider. They're 3 inches taller. I've got bad news. Those are $350 windows. And you can have them in 3 months. Let me know how your Burr is going to go.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I really wish noobs would understand, and kind of the rookie investor. I think that that's a great term that Bigger Pockets has, is rookie investors.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people miss out on, because Burr is by no means a starter strategy. It is just not.
It's an advanced strategy. It's why I put it
Absolutely is
2 chapters in my second book.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the 6th and my final one is, I still hear from new investors that will say something like the following: I'm just going to get a deal. I'm going to pay my dues. I'm going to do the deal just to do a deal. It's like they're acting like money is burning a hole in their pocket. Like they don't have to get a return. Like they know they should lose money on their first deal. What is that about? Yes, I understand the last year's been hard. I get it. It's not going to always be this way. In fact, I think the market is changing right in front of us right now. It'll be very different in 3 to 6 months. But I still have investors that are like, I've been trying for 30 days and I can't find a deal. I'm just going to buy one.
Right.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Mhm.
I wrote 100 offers in 2020 and got nothing. If the deal, if it's a bad or average deal, don't do the deal. Some people just feel like again, it's always 30 days. I've been looking for 30 days. Like magically deals happen in 30 days.
Well,
There's
now you're clearly qualified to run your market.
clear. Yeah. And let's hope they looked at one market, because most of them are in 5 different markets and they're all freaking
Yeah.
confused and they don't know what's going on. There is no trophy for doing a deal. There's nothing magical about doing. In fact, most of you that do your first deal, when you know it's going to be bad, you probably won't do a second.
Mhm.
Because if you do your first deal and you know it's going to be bad, you probably missed other things and it's going to go from bad to really bad.
Mhm.
So that's why you need to make sure you figure out average, go look for good or great, try to do a great deal. And then if you miss a couple things, you learn, right? Because bad things happen, learn. But don't go in, don't settle, don't just do it to do it. There's nothing magical about losing money. Yeah, that's a mistake that I see. I've seen for 20 years, and it's always in a hot market. I see it the most. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, you're hit the nail on the head. The hot market piece. I mean, if you check out my Instagram, Lumberjack Landlord on Instagram, you saw the picture I posted last night.
I did.
It's an 8x8 carry beam in a 160-year-old house that, take a wild guess, I didn't think was rotted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Burr strategy,
Yeah.
$8,500 to yank that beam, do new supports, LVLs throughout, properly restructure it. Here's the thing. I can take that hit.
Yeah.
I can take that hit. It's a $200,000 budget for that project. But do the math. That's 5%, almost 5% of my budget.
That go there. I always have a 5% extra. That's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Oof.
more surprises.
Yeah. And Mike, bad news. I already spent that extra 5% twice already.
Yeah. It
Because
happens.
my windows went from 9 to 17.
Oh,
9,000 to 17,000. And the electrical went up almost double as well when we had to pull the new numbers for all the wire that we needed to buy.
yeah.
So when it's all said and done, guys, I can tell you it's an advanced strategy. Stay in your lane, be humble in the approach, and recognize that, I mean, I'm not going to like writing that $8,500 check, but I can.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, Mike, 5 years ago, that would have put a hurting on me. That'd put a hurt on me.
I like this, Mike, is don't do a deal to just do a deal. And one of the problems is when we talk about in our first deal, we usually make most of our mistakes. That's not an invitation to buy a deal that you know is a mistake.
Yeah. Don't go
When
in.
you find a great deal,
Yeah.
you're probably going to make mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah. This is awesome. Well, Deanne, how can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
And Matt?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube, and most importantly, Instagram, because you guys are going to want to watch that project as it unfolds.
Nice. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.